one of the things that people talk the most about is the complexity of the loyalty system, and you've just been through that. What is it that you found was the most challenging thing about starting up a new loyalty system?
Yeah, so the most challenging thing when starting a loyalty program is defining the program. How do you want customers to engage with your brand and engage with the program? Because there are so many platforms out there and so many different ways you can structure the program that unless you know it from the start, you will just be going down a rabbit hole. You can't select the right partner to work with you until you know how you want customers to engage. So do you want the program to be points-based? Do you want it to be a club program? Do you want it to be gas-only discounts? And you really do need to know that before you pick out the program. Other than the operational side, it's making sure everybody from the top of the company down is bought into the idea before you get started. It makes it easier to implement and roll out once everything's ready.
That's a great point. You said how important it was from everybody from the top to the bottom to be bought into the process before you roll it out. Well, I know in IT that's critical. I've seen projects where the same technology failed, where there wasn't really good support, and the same technology was giving credit to the management when it didn't work out. What was the best way they supported you? How'd you go about getting that buy-in?
Yeah, so when I talk about loyalty, I always say that loyalty, this technology that we're implementing, it's a tool we can use to enhance loyalty, but real loyalty is the experience that our customers have in our stores. The technology, it's just adding on to that, but without that genuine relationship building that's happening with our customers, there is no loyalty. And so being able to go out to our store members, or our store team members, our store managers, and share with them what loyalty truly means helps get buy-in from our store managers. But moving up, looking at talking to the IT departments, talking to our executive teams, understanding how loyalty isn't going to be another program that we have in place, that it is going to be just a new culture for us. So we have this piece of technology. Everything will now start rolling up under that piece of technology. Any new programs we roll out in the future will be integrated with this technology. And so it's not creating additional work for us. It's going to eventually make all of our lives easier. And that got buy-in from a lot of different departments. Also, just sharing the numbers, how much this is going to make the sales grow, how much the bottom line is going to grow, definitely helps get buy-in from the accounting and finance team.
What is it that you think is the key to culture in general, and how does loyalty fit into that? Because I hear that from the HR side and from the operations side. Tell me a little bit more about what you mean from a culture and loyalty.
Yeah, so culture, it's all about the people. When you take care of your people, everything else takes care of itself. And so when I'm training our teams on loyalty, and I've done this in all of my previous positions as well, the culture that I'm trying to create in these stores is not about loyalty. I'm trying to create the culture that fosters loyalty. So it's about, how do you always have a customer first mindset? How do you think of, I'm cleaning this bathroom for a good experience for the customers? How do you think of, when you're training new hires and I'm upselling a lighter with every pack of cigarettes? You're doing that because it takes care of the customer. I've seen a lot of times when these things are done because we have to meet numbers. We're upselling this lighter because we have to meet sales numbers. And you can push numbers for a while and get those numbers you want, but it's not until you create that culture behind it that the numbers truly take care of themselves. And it's just, it takes time. The stores that I've seen that have that real culture behind them have impressive rates with loyalty transactions, even ones that were out in the middle of nowhere. We thought they would be our lowest performing stores, but those managers just had a true culture within their teams. And you see that it's not just loyalty, you see it throughout everything that they're doing. Their team members are growing, they're developing within the company. You see promotions out of those stores. It's, once again, loyalty just ties back to everything else. It's not an additional job we're doing. It's just a new way of thinking of the job that we're doing.
It's amazing to hear it said like that, because I'm so used to hearing, the convenience store industry has such a great approach with building from within and growing. I don't know how many operations managers started out as a cashier that I've run into, but tying that into loyalty, that just makes sense. I hear a lot of people talking about brand. So where you said culture, you said loyalty is really just the operations all tied together in your culture. How does the brand fit into all of that?
Your brand is so integral to a successful program because people want to do business with companies that they feel good about. They want to know that you are doing good, giving back to the communities that you're in. They want to know that you're consistent. If I'm traveling out of state and I'm looking for a place to stop, I'm going to pick somewhere I know will be a consistent experience or somewhere that's safe. So having a brand that's consistent, for us specifically at ReFuel, being a very aggressive acquisition company, we work really hard to drive that consistency as quickly as possible when we acquire new locations. Because it does create your brand. Once again, the experience that customers have every time they walk in the store, we can say whatever we want on our website, we can have whatever logo and colors we want, but it's the way people feel about your brand that's truly your brand.
That's so well said. We see that a lot. Our clients tend to be clients that are growing fast, and sometimes they build and sometimes they acquire, usually both. And I know that's the most challenging part right there. When you bring somebody else on, you've got, sometimes there's turnover because they don't fit the culture, and you've got to bring people on. That is such a heavy onboarding. So when you bring on an acquisition, I guess that's almost the same as bringing on a new employee, just grander. And so we say that all the time from the operations side. If you want to build a good team, you've got to start in the hiring process. And of course, carry it through the onboarding. So you're saying that's part of loyalty right there on the onboarding? Did I get that right?
Yeah, when we're acquiring stores and we're bringing them in, driving consistency immediately is so important. Number one, for the teams that we acquired, making sure it's a good experience for them, that they want to stay with us, because a lot of these are local chains that have been in the community, family run for a very long time. These employees have been working there for a long time, so the people coming in know them. They feel comfortable with them. So making sure that they stay on with us past an acquisition is important. And when it's a seamless process, they'll be more likely to trust. Change is hard for everybody. So whatever we can do to make the change easier, it helps. And once again, the brand is all customer facing, but it's the people in the store that sell the brand. So they have to be comfortable with what we've done when we've changed over.
I love hearing that. It's the loyalty actually is in the store. It's where it all comes from.
Yeah, I would love to say that loyalty is all of the work that I put into our program in the past 8-9 months, that it's all this amazing technology that can segment customers and send offers out based on their behavior and can give points and rewards, but you can spend $1 million on all of this technology and it do nothing for your company, because it's just an enhancement. Without that culture, loyalty doesn't exist.
What's that one thing that you wish you had known 9 months ago that you know now that you can share with everybody that's about to start this journey?
Yeah, so I've built a couple of programs in the industry in the past, and I've definitely learned a lot that I can say I'm very proud of the program that we've built here at ReFuel. The one thing I say, or at least when I came into this program here at ReFuel, I looked back and I said I would not do this again. And it was, back to knowing what I wanted to do from the start. We were very methodical about planning it out ahead of time. We did not rush to get it out into the market. We made sure everything worked properly before we had it customer facing anywhere, because you really only have one chance. If you rush to market with the money on your mind, knowing, hey, once this is in stores, we're going to make a ton of money, so we need to get it into stores in 2 months, you can get the program built and done in 2 months, but you don't have, it's not going to be the right program. You're not going to have the buy-in you need, and it will fail. You're not going to get that money come to you. So spending the time and being thorough during the design and build process, making sure that everything is perfect before you roll it out company-wide. Make sure that every department has a hand in the design process as well, because you don't always think about how everything impacts everyone else. And just, take your time so you don't regret it later, because these programs are, I mean, when you build a program, it's built to be 5 to 10 years or plus. When you roll out with a program and you start taking features away from it because you realize maybe you didn't think through and it was too, it was too expensive for you to continue funding that program, customers realize you took something away from them. And so you have to be very, very thoughtful. And in the past, I have not put as much thought up front, definitely as I did building ReFuel rewards.
Well, so to summarize, what I heard you say was get buy-in, but as part of the buy-in process, also build the plan and the buy-in together.
Yes. So when we planned ReFuel rewards, we had the buy-in taken care of, and we had the framework built out before we ever started on the work itself. We knew every detail of our program before we started any of the technology piece.
I think a lot of times we learn more from our mistakes, and we don't want to mention any names or anything like that, but you said one mistake was moving too fast. Was there any particular thing that you would warn somebody about besides that, or is that it?
I guess if I had one warning to give someone building a program, it would be not to roll it out company-wide. If you have, if you're a large scale company, more than 20 stores, make sure you have a test market and that you get feedback from the people using the program, the store managers and the team members that are actually touching this program every single day, before you roll it out company-wide, because you only have one shot at making sure your store employees buy into this. And since they're the ones who will make or break the success of the program, you have to make sure it's right. So always test market before you roll it company-wide.
Abigail, thank you so much. People that are getting started on this, they've got so many other things to do. This is just great advice. And the specifics was just so nice to hear. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for inviting me. It's been a pleasure.